All right. So I think where we cut off last time was we were talking about
Yeah, the light's not on. No, it's all right.
what? Oh no, yeah, this one doesn't have a light. It's
Oh.
it all down here. It's kind of
Okay.
funky. But yeah, so where we left off last time is you were kind of describing the room, and it was like 25 feet by 25 feet, and what was it? What were the materials? I guess, or maybe.
Yeah, I had plasterboard in our camp, but that white gypsum board that you see
Right.
in most houses, and but it was just plain gypsum board. There was no caulking on it or anything. So in order to make it livable, you had to find something to stick in the cracks, keep the weather out and everything.
What were like the bed setups like, or?
Well, let's see. We had with a family of 9, so we had 2 rooms, actually 2 end rooms. Some like one barrack usually had 4 rooms in it, and 2 end rooms side by side, whereas the ones we had. So my father, his wife, and daughter slept in one, and the rest of us slept in the other. And so there was the boys' room, and then there was the parents' and daughter's room. So, and then let's see. My oldest brothers actually didn't stay around that long, but, so I don't remember how they were. But it doesn't matter of being crowded or anything. It's just like being out camping or something.
Right, like uncomfortable and displaced, I guess, is what.
But they had regular beds like the ones you see here.
Right.
And army blankets and see.
Was it hard for your parents with 7 kids, or did they?
No, maybe they lost track of us. So we gained some independence there. So anyway, no, of course my father kept strict control over us younger kids, but the older kids, I think, sort of took off on their own. So.
Right.
And because my oldest brother had graduated high school by then, and after about a year, he got a chance to move to Chicago to work at the Stevens Creek Hotel or something like that, or Stevens Hotel in Chicago was offering jobs. So he and a buddy of his went to Chicago for about a year, and then when they got back, just in time to get drafted into the Army. So
wow.
They weren't allowed that. They weren't around all that much.
And then how long were you displaced or at camp?
So no, I was 10 years old when I entered, and I think I was 14 when we came back home. So, but we came back home because my father had arranged to have his neighbor take care of the house in our absence, and the neighbor had rented out the house, and that was what it is. He could make whatever he rented in cash to for the trouble of taking care of the house. So the house, when we came back, the house wasn't in all that great shape, but it was still our house. So we're back where we started, and so although a lot of the family had taken the opportunity to go to Chicago, the thing was that you can leave the camp if you can find a place to go, but not on the West Coast. Just you can go back east, and there were a lot of farms and things that were recruiting farm workers and everything. Yeah, our camp had a very large farm actually. Where there's a lot of people that were farmers, and so they fit right in and working on the farms. And a lot of our family went to Chicago, where they the kids started school there. They found out the schools were pretty terrible in Chicago, and they had to go to parochial schools, and but they did fairly well in general. And one of them became a chef at some country club, and another managed some hotel rooms or something. And but
And when the war, I remember you saying before the war, when your brother, you were talking about him, he got, I mean, not before the war, but before going to camp, he got beat up, and you saw him one time beat up. When you came back from camp, was there still that?
well, there's still that attitude against us, yeah. But there were no incidents that I could think of.
No.
Sometimes I'd get taunted, saying, "Jesus, you guys lost the war," or something. I thought you were going to win the war, didn't you? Something like that. Anyway, and you had to just brush that stuff off your back because you really couldn't do anything about that. And but that didn't last all that long. I don't think.
Right.
But from 46 through 49 is when I went to junior high school and high school, and that was more or less normal for us to. Of course, there were no other Japanese in the school. You know, when I went to school and came back home, I really saw no other Japanese. So it never occurred to me that I really wasn't one of these people. And I still, I still live that way. So.
And you mentioned so you came back and you said you were like 14 and you went back to school, and then you attended Cal Berkeley, and then I found it fascinating. You said after Berkeley you decided to enlist yourself. What was the?
Well, I guess it was the fact that all my brothers had served in the Army, and I was the only one who hadn't, and so I said, well, before I start work, I think I want to join the Army and see the world and everything. Anyway, so I did it. I don't know why, that was a stupid thing to do, actually. And
How long were you in the Army?
I was in for 3 years. Yeah,
Oh.
I served in. I already had a degree, so I didn't go into the regular infantry like my brothers did. So, but I went first to Fort McClellan, assigned to a school in a laboratory school, but the school decided I wasn't eligible for that school since I had a degree, and this thing was too simple for them. So so I was assigned to the 6th Army Lab in Marin County at Fort Baker, which is just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. So a really nice place, and I spent about 6 months there, and then I was sent to Hawaii, where I was at the Hawaii